Hello children, let me welcome you to the virtual training center of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha teacher. Children, we are in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, isn't it? Because of that, we are not able to go to school, but that doesn't mean that we are going to stop learning. We are going to meet here regularly through the virtual training center to learn many lessons in EVS. So come on, let's go to a lesson in EVS. So children, this will be a lesson in standard third EVS. Alright. And now if you just think back and think about the lessons that we have learned in the previous few days, the last lesson that you learned was about your family and your home. Okay. It is something which is very, very dear to us, the members of our family and the place where we live, that is our home. Now children, in this particular lesson also, we are going to talk about a favorite place of ours. So after our home, which is the most favorite place that we have, the place that we go to every day and the place that we love to go to, that is our school. Alright, so today we are going to do lesson number 19, My School. Now, children, most of us this year have not been able to go to school. And we know why? It is because of this COVID-19 pandemic. But that doesn't mean that we have stopped loving our schools or we do not want to go to school. We definitely want to go to school. We are all waiting for the chance when we can go to school, meet our friends, have fun, and do so many things that we love to do. We love to meet our teachers. We love to sit in the classroom and learn so many new things. Okay, even now we are learning like this online, watching these videos, but then going to school is always fun. So today in this lesson, it's a long lesson. If you look at the textbook, you can open your textbook and you can open page number 112. So we have this particular lesson number 19, My School. It's a long lesson. In today's lesson, we will talk about all the physical things that are there in the school. Okay? And in the next part of the lesson, that is the next video that I put up, we will learn about ancient schools and who are the people who are responsible for the kind of schools that we have today and what all the government has done in order to improve our schools. But that will be in the next video. In this particular video, we will do an introduction of the school. We will see the various places which are there in the school, the various facilities that our school gives us, and all the activities that we do in the school. Alright, so come on, let's start our lesson and let us begin by looking at a picture of the school. Now, every one of you might be having a different picture of your school in your mind. Alright, in some schools, you have such big buildings, multi-story buildings, whereas in the villages, if you see schools, they're very small rooms and they are not multi-floored, that is, there's just one single floor. Sometimes for the roof also, you have grass, all right, you have tiles on the roof. So, schools differ from place to place. Some schools are bigger, some schools are smaller, some schools are very modern, very posh, okay, whereas some schools are very basic. Some places the children do not have proper benches also to sit on. Okay, but whatever the kind of school we have, we love going to school. Look at the look on their faces. Can you see these four boys? All right, see how happy they are. Why? Because when we go to school, we do not bother much about the table or the chair. We bother about our friends, about our teachers. We are so eager to go to school. Okay, so all the friends that we meet outside, we meet in the school also. And there are so many activities that you do when you go to school. So, what is the very first activity which happens as soon as you enter the school? So, look at these children. What are they doing? They're all saying their prayers. Okay, so when you go to school, the first activity that you have is your assembly, where all of you stand together. all of you wearing the same uniforms, and you say some prayers that will help you to have a good, smooth, nice and day in the school. Okay, so this is one important activity that we have in school. So we are going to look at many different and beautiful pictures, and we are going to try and see what all things we do in our school. All of you know all these answers, okay? All of us know what we do in the school because we have gone to school. All right, in the first standard, in the second standard. Now, unfortunately, because of this disease which is going around, we are not able to go. But next year, surely we will go to school. Okay, so we have our morning prayers. Now, some children, they are not so very lucky like us. See, these children, they've all worn beautiful, nice uniforms, same kind of uniforms. But in some schools, like I told you, na, children are not able to afford such good uniforms. Some of them who live in villages, but even then, what is the most important thing? Going to school is the most important thing. Whether you have uniforms to wear or whether you do not have uniforms to wear, you should always want to go to school because it is there that we learn so many things. All right, now let us start by looking at the fun that we have in school sometimes. We will talk about studies also, but that will be little later. Let us talk about all the fun that we have in school. Do you know our teachers teach you to dance, to sing? You have so many amusing music period, dance period, PT period, where teachers teach you different kind of exercises. They also teach you music, they teach you to dance, they teach you to sing. So this is the fun part of school. Okay, we look forward to going to school because of the fun part in the school. But what is the important thing? The most important thing? Learning. So when you go to school, of course, we have a lot of fun, we enjoy, but at the same time, what is the main focus? We learn in schools. Okay, we go to learn so many new things in school along with meeting our friends and having fun also. So see, this is a classroom in your school. So does your classroom also look like this? Think about it and see there are so many different things that you can see in the classroom and identify with. So there are benches, there are desks, and there are so many beautiful pictures on the wall. There are fans, tube lights. But again, all schools may not have the same kind of setup. Okay, so you learn in the classroom. So major part of your time in the school is spent inside the classroom. Yes, sometimes you go out to learn music, sometimes you go out on the ground to play, but a major part of your time in the school is spent in your classroom. And all of us have a fixed classroom for a year, isn't it? For one full year, every day we go to the same classroom. All right, so you have your classrooms in school. Then we have the school library. So, what is a school library, children? A library is a place where you have different books to read. Now, you are still small, isn't it? You are in the third standard, so your teacher might not give you books to read. She might not take you to the library to read books. She might give you books where you are sitting so that you can read them. But the bigger children, the children who are a little bit more responsible, they sometimes go to the library when they want to study. Okay, and in the library you get so many different books to read, and there is a teacher sitting in the library also who helps you to take these books, who lends you the books, who takes it back, and who sees that the library is well disciplined. So none of you can make noise in the library, you cannot sing, you cannot dance. So when you go to the library, you have to be very, very disciplined. Okay, so here is the school library, and can you see here how children are very nice children? See how nicely they're sitting and reading books in the library. And I told you there is a teacher in the library called the librarian. So you can see her standing there. See, She's helping these children to read the books. Okay, so this is the next important part of our book of our school, that is our library. Then you have another favorite place in your school, that is the school playground. So whenever there is a PT period or whenever you're going to prepare for your sports, where do you go? You go and you play on the playground. Okay, so not only studying from books, but also playing is important for you. So in a school, you have playgrounds where you can play different sorts of games. Now in schools, we also have different kind of teams. So you have the cricket team, you have the football team in the school. Sometimes there are two, three teams in one school and they compete against each other. So you have the playground where you get to learn and play many different kind of sports. All right. After that, another important place in your school is the school laboratory. So, in the school laboratory, what do you see? You see experiments being done. Now, for this, again, children, you will have to grow up a little bit more. When you grow a little bigger, your teacher will take you to the laboratory. There, you learn so many things which you learn in science. Now, we do not learn science this year. We have EVS, isn't it? When you go to the higher standard, you will be learning science. And then you will be going to the laboratory where you can do different kind of experiments. So these are all the different activities that we do in school. Can you see here? The school laboratory, the children are all working with some kind of chemicals. All right. So all these things you can learn. You can learn new things about science in your school laboratory. Now, sometimes when you're playing, when you're working in the laboratory, you suffer from some minor accidents, like you have a small cut on your finger, okay? Or sometimes you fall and you scratch your knee. So, for that, we have the first aid boxes also in the school. So, your teacher will immediately apply these kind of ordinary medicines to you, okay? So, we have first aid boxes in the school. A very important place in the school is the water room, where when you feel thirsty after you eat your tiffin, what do? You go and drink water. So we have water rooms also in our school. Then we have toilets in our school. Okay, and you must have seen the girls use separate toilets and the boys use separate toilets. So we have toilets also in our school. So these are all the different places that are there in the school. Then what about this place? This is the music room. Now, all schools might not have music rooms, but there are certain schools which also have music rooms where you can go and learn music also. All right, children. So, these are the different parts of your school. These are the different places that are there in your school which make your school very, very enjoyable. All right, now let us move on and let us talk about the ancient Indian learning system, that is the system of Gurukul. So, what is the Gurukul system? Look carefully at this image. So, what is the Gurukul system? You can see that there is a teacher or a guru who's sitting and teaching the shishyas, that is the learners. Now, you will say, in our school also the same thing happens. All right, but there is a difference here, children. Can you see any classroom? You can't see any classroom, but you can see some houses, a few huts there. And all these children are sitting in the open. All the learners, all the students are sitting in the open and learning from the teacher. Okay, so this ancient Indian learning system is called as the Gurukul system. Here you will see that the teacher and the students, they do not go to school. Now see, just like you go to school every day, your teacher also comes to school every day. But here the children or the students, they go and stay with the teacher for many days or for many years also, you can say. So this is the kind of school that we used to have in the olden days in our country. So if the students want to receive education, they used to go and stay with the teacher till they complete their education. Okay. So now see, when you join school, you are so small. You come to school when you are in the first standard, and when you pass out, you are in the 10th standard. So that means 10 years. So 10 years you will have to stay with the teacher. All right. Now children of different ages also come together and stay with the teacher. The teacher then teaches all these students. And what do the children learn? The children learn the same things that we are learning. The children learn how to read, how to write letters, numbers, etc. Now where do these people write this? They sometimes write it on the ground, they write it on the leaves. Okay, but you see one more thing in this picture, children. Look carefully at this picture. You will see that there are all boys in this picture. You will not see a single girl in the picture. We will talk about that also later. Okay, so this is the ancient Indian Gurukul system or the ancient Indian schooling system, which was very, very unique. Okay, you had to leave. Even now we have these kind of schools, but they are boarding schools. They are a little different. You do not go and live in the teacher's house. Okay, you go and live in a school where the teacher also comes and stays. But this system, which was in India, was a little different. See? And along with learning about mathematics, about science, about language, they never learnt English that time. Okay? English came to India after the British people came to India. So these people, they did not learn English. So what did they learn? They learned maths, they learned science. Along with learning maths and science, they also learned so many things about religion. They learned how to perform yagna, how to do puja. Okay, and they lived in the natural surroundings. So you can see there are peacocks, there are deer. Okay, there is a cow. So they used to live in the natural surroundings. And you will also see that along with learning, there is one boy who's feeding some cow. Can you see in the picture? That means it is not that if you come to school, you will only learn. You will have to do work also there. So they had to clean their houses, they had to cook for their teachers, they had to take care of the cattle of the teachers. So it was a big hard work for these children. Okay, but then they became experts then. And see one more thing, children of different age groups also used to learn together. Some were small, some were elderly, just like in your schools. Children from the first standard are younger than you. Children in the 6th, 7th standard are elder than you. So same way in the Gurukul also, students of various ages, they used to stay together with the Guru and learn about not only maths, not only science, not only languages, but also about religion, also about how to do puja, etc. So let us compare these two schools now. So there is this school from 5000 BC, that is 5000 before Christ was born. Can you see what the setting of the school is? How the school looks like? And then now we have the schools in 2019 where there is a teacher in the class and the children are all sitting on benches and they are learning. One very different and important thing that you can see in both these pictures. Come on, let me leave you to look at these pictures for a second and try to see whether you can find out one difference in these two pictures. One difference is that the setting is different. The children are sitting on benches in one school, the children are sitting on the floor. But there is a very, very important difference. And that is in the ancient schools, that is the school of 5000 BC, you will see all the boys who are sitting and learning. Can you see? But here in this other picture, you will see that there are so many girls also. So if there are 3 boys, you can also see 3, 4 girls. That means in today's time, the concept of schools have changed. It is not that only boys can go to school, only boys can learn, but even girls can study. Even girls have got the full freedom to study in today's times. So we girls are really lucky. Okay. See, I am also a girl. I was also a girl. I also went to school. Many of you who are watching the video are also girls. So aren't we lucky that we are living in today's times? Otherwise, we would not have been able to go to school at all. Okay. So this is about the difference in the school in the ancient time and now in the modern time. Now we have another concept of school in today's time, that is in the year 2020, we started online schools. And why did we do it? We did it because of the COVID-19 pandemic, because we had to be socially distant from each other. Okay, and we could not go and meet people because of the pandemic. That is why now our teachers are teaching us online. See, I'm also teaching you online, isn't it? Are you able to see me directly? Or are you able to stay in the same room with me? No. What have I done? I've put up a video and you're watching the video and you're learning from it. So, this is how the schools are functioning in today's times, children. Online classes. But don't worry, very soon all this will be different again. Very soon, as soon as the virus vanishes, we will all be able to go to school again. Okay, so today we talked about what all things? We talked about the various facilities available in the school to us and what all things we do in the school, what all activities we do in the school. And we also talked about the different types of schools, that is in the ancient times, what kind of school we had, and now today, what kind of schools we have. Let us go a little bit further and learn a few more things. But basically, whenever we go to school, whether we go to any kind of school, what do? We learn to read, we learn to write, and we learn to do a little bit of arithmetic. So these are the basic things that we learn in school: reading, writing, and arithmetic. Arithmetic means doing basic mathematics. Okay, so this is we learn when we go to any school, this is what we learn. Now, children, you know that I told you that we never used to learn English before. So, English is a foreign subject. It's a foreign language. It is not an Indian language. So, what are some Indian languages? We have Sanskrit, we have Marathi, Hindi, Telugu, Tamil. All these languages are Indian languages. Okay, so now this English is a foreign language. Then, how come English is being taught in school today? How come we are all going to English medium schools? How come I'm speaking in English to you? It is because of the effect of the British Raj. Okay, so there were the British people who came to India and they ruled us for so many years, and their language was English. Okay, and when they came here, they saw that here no one knows to speak in English, no one knows to write in English. So, what they did, in order to make their work easy, they introduced English, and along with English, they also introduced the modern school system. So, we had modern schools as soon as the British came to India. And Indians also realized that now we have to be educated. That is not only the boys, not only people from the family of kings and queens, but all of us have to be educated. And that is how the British people, they introduced the modern school systems. Okay, and today's school, see, you can see in this picture how the school introduced by the British people were. This school is very similar to this school, isn't it? See, can you see this picture in 2019 CE? So the school in this picture is very similar to the school in this picture. Okay, so it was the British who established the present day school system. Till then, we had different kind of schools. We did not have the kind of schools that we can see today. So we had the Gurukul kind of schools. So it is because of the British that we are able to read, learn, write in English and also study in modern schools. But remember, children, even though we know to read and write English, we should also know to read, write, speak our mother tongues. So if you are from Maharashtra, you should know how to read and write and speak Marathi well. If you are from Gujarat, you should know how to speak, write Gujarati well. So we should never forget our mother tongues and our Indian languages. Knowing English is good, but if you know your own language, then it is best. All right. So this is how the system of school changed. Now, like I told you, before the British came to India, school was allowed only for boys. Girls were not allowed to go to school at all. So, girls could not go to school. Only boys could go to school. And that also not boys from all families, okay? Boys only from the royal families. That is, boys who belong to the family of kings and nobles and rajas. Only those people could go to school. People were children who had poor parents, or children whose parents did not have money, or who used to do small work like farming, etc. They could not go to school at all. And girls, though, were not at all allowed to even enter the schools. So, this was the system of our schools when the British came to India. Slowly and slowly, they changed this system. And today we all know how the schools are. We have so many boys also who study with us. Well, just like a brother goes to school, we also girls can go to school. Okay, no one will tell you that you are a girl, so you're not supposed to come to school. Okay, so this was about how the school system changed. Now, when we meet next time, I told you now we are also going to learn about the various things that our government has done for us. Okay, what all steps the government has taken in order to see to it that we all get education. So, one of them is safeguarding our right to education. But that we will see when we meet next time. So, in today's lesson, children, or in today's video, we talked about the various facilities in the school, various activities that we can do when we go to school, and we also saw how our school system has changed. And even now, we say that it is the British largely who are responsible for the change that has happened in our school system. So, that is all for today. You wait for me to put up the next video where we will be learning a lot more things about not only our school but also the various people who helped us to become better. So children, now you have watched the video. So after you watch the video now, you will have to complete a few simple tasks. Now you might have watched the video on your computers or your laptops or your mobile phones. Now after you watch the video, what will you do? You will please go to the description box which is given below the video. So what is the description box? See, the description box looks like this. Alright, and after you go to the description box, you will see that there are a few questions there. Now what are these questions about? These questions are about the lesson that we just learned or the video that you just watched. So what will you do? You will think back properly about the lesson and you will try and answer these questions and note down the answers in your notebook if you want. Okay? After that, we have another task waiting. You will also click on the link which you will find in the description box to fill up the Google form. So now what is the Google form, children? It is nothing but a simple form. There are a few simple questions there about the video which you just saw and also about yourself. So These are the tasks now that you will have to complete after you watch each video. So children, wasn't that a very interesting lesson? I'm sure you learnt a lot of new things in this lesson. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my video so that you will get to see all the videos which I keep posting regularly.